Hi, this is Alex Skolnick. Welcome to my latest lesson for Guitar World, speaking about jazz improvisation. Today, I would like to speak to you about diminished scales. When you first hear the term diminished, a lot of us think of something like this. This was a popular lick in the 80s. Okay, so that's an old chestnut. Technically, that's not a diminished scale. What that is actually a diminished arpeggio. It comes from the diminished scale. The diminished scale itself is actually an 8-note pattern. It goes a little something like this. If I play it in C, now, there's different ways of fingering this, and a lot of very interesting, I find them interesting things happen with the scale. If you look at the first 4 notes, right, it's just a minor scale. But if you move up a half step from the 4th note, from there, you get this. It's another minor scale. Right? So that's another way you could think of it. It's like 2 halves of a minor scale. Okay. Yeah, and one of the interesting things about the diminished scale, as you may recall from this classic lick, it repeats itself every 3 frets. The same thing happens with any diminished pattern, right? So I could take this and go down 3 frets. Right, it's all related. And any combination of these notes will repeat every 3 frets. So there aren't any modes for diminished except for one, which is 1 note away, interestingly. So if I were to go to the 2nd note, right, if I play this from the 2nd note, I get this, and this is called a half-whole diminished because it starts from a half step. And there's different ways of fingering this too. You know, so how you finger this depends on the licks you're using and in what context. So this is, again, this is half-whole. And then the other one you could think of as whole half. But technically, the term diminished scale means starting with the whole step. So the mode is half-whole. I could also play the half-whole down. Right? So here I'm playing it from B. Okay? And I want to focus a little bit on this position. So this starts to get interesting when you factor in things like triads and other licks. So check this out. So I'm going to move up an octave, right? And now I'm going to start my half-whole here. And just so you know, I'm very rarely going to play the scale up and down. This is much more about patterns. And right away, I noticed a few things. So one One is that I have a triad in there, even though it's a very evil sounding scale. There's a nice happy triad, right? But I can sneak in some of these other notes. So right there, that's a B major triad with a flat 9. And that becomes a nice little pattern, which, as with all the other diminished licks, I can move in intervals of a minor third. All right. I have other triads in there. If I go here, I get this. All right, so just every triad moves in minor thirds. So I know this may be getting advanced, but bear with me. This is a B major inverted triad. This is the same thing, up a minor third gives you a D major, but I can play this in the same position. So with these notes, I get this great little pattern. I could sneak in other notes. So in context, right? So maybe just play this over a kind of funky groove. Watch, I move down down a minor third. Okay? So that starts getting really cool, and that's all diminished. I'm not even doing other stuff I could do, which is sneaking in a blues lick, like, or sneaking in chromatic licks. Again, that's just improvised. Once you absorb this stuff, these ideas start to pour out, and they come out very naturally. So have some fun with the diminished. And by the way, the diminished, it's something I managed to sneak into metal as well. This is an old chestnut right here. Right, and all that is just whole steps divided by a triad, and then moving down in minor thirds. So across the strings, it's okay. So if you listen to any of my stuff, the jazz stuff and the metal stuff, you'll find that. The first person I heard using ideas like that was the guitarist John Scofield. So I recommend checking out his stuff, particularly his work over funky vamps and his work with Miles Davis. That is it for this edition. I hope you're enjoying this. Thanks for checking it out, and hope to see you at the next column.